British lawmaker Nigel Adams has stepped down as Member of Parliament, becoming the third Tory MP to resign in 24 hours. Adams announced on Twitter he will be standing down with immediate effect following the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's resignation yesterday. On Friday, another member of the Conservatives stepped down as MP. Now, resignations have set off by-elections for their constituencies in West London. Johnson stepped down amid a parliamentary probe into lockdown parties during the COVID pandemic when he was Prime Minister. Probe has been launched to find out whether the then Premier lied to the House of Commons over the parties. Johnson says there is no evidence to support his misconduct. Quittings have reopened deep divisions among the Tories just ahead of a general election.
And yes, they will have an overwhelming mandate.
Joining us now from New York is Daniel Lazar, journalist and author. For more on the story, hello Daniel, hope you're safe and doing well out there in New York. Your thoughts on the troubles that we're seeing within the Tory party and the fact that Boris Johnson's on his way out, and then why are we seeing now some continuity when it comes to his close allies?
Well, I think the Boris Johnson faction is under attack, and I think it shows the growing weakness of the entire Tory party. I mean, Johnson was the guy who led the party. He was a major force behind Brexit. Everyone knew about his very strange approach to politics, his very loose association with the truth, but it was tolerated because Boris Johnson won votes. But now the Tory party is doing badly, and they're trying to get rid of Johnson. There's a purge going on, and clearly the Johnson faction is being made to pay the price for the Tory party's in general its decline in the polls and its extremely grave political outlook. So the party's under strain, and they're taking it out on their former leader.
Right, so is it the dawn for the Keir Starmer's Labour? And if so, Daniel, if we see Keir Starmer and the Labour Party come to power soon, what kind of shift do you think we'll see in British politics?
Well, I think it does look like Keir Starmer will probably come to power. He will win the next election. It's impossible to say for sure, but it's looking extremely good for him. But Starmer has steered very close to the center. And we know he's purged the left wing of his party for being too critical of Israel. So therefore, we can expect that a Starmer government will adhere very closely to U.S. policy. It'll support the war in Ukraine. It'll support Israeli policy in the Middle East. It will support the Washington's attacks on the Iranian government. I mean, I think it'll very dutifully toe the line in general when it comes to the U.S. U.S. policies, imperial policies with regard to the Middle East, the Ukraine, and the Western Pacific.
But it seems we saw a lot of that from the Tories as well, Daniel. So what do you think we will see perhaps differently if Labour comes to power there?
Keir Starmer doesn't want to be different. I mean, Keir Starmer is playing to the center. Mm-hmm. So essentially, he's billing himself as a slightly, more left-wing version of the Rishi Sunak government, slightly more left-wing, more competent, but otherwise, pro-American, pro-NATO, very dutiful in terms of carrying out this whole establishment policy. So I think that we actually will not see very much of a change if Keir Starmer takes power.
Good stuff. Always a pleasure. Stay safe. Mr. Daniel Lazar there joining us from New York.